And I've totally heard the difference between the experiment and dude, it's so crazy. You should definitely... What's up, nerds? My name is Cory Bergeron, and you are watching Cory Bergeron Recordings. Real quick, before we start this video, go down to the description. There should be a link. Hopefully I remember to post at the top of the description, but it is to join the Facebook audio community. It's a community with like-minded individuals such as yourself, bunch of audio nerds. We have really meaningful, impactful conversations, and I want you to be a part of it for the simple reason that I don't want you to feel left out ever. So yeah, make sure to join that group, and let's continue with the video. Hey, what's going on? So, as you can probably see, I'm here in a recording studio, and the studio is called Pebble Studios. It's got some cool compressors. It's got some cool hardware compressors, and I have the luxury of using them. I'm a big fan of using hardware, outboard gear, compressors, EQs, etc. on the way in when I'm tracking. I like to use them for multiple different applications, but one thing that I definitely enjoy doing is using a hardware compressor on the way in when I'm tracking vocals. I work primarily on rock-based music, and you need to have your vocal very upfront, very present in the mix for it to be competitive. It's kind of an integral and crucial part of the production. So being able to use the same hardware compressors time and time again, you get to you become familiar with the specific unit, and then you know how far you can push it. So I'm not afraid to slam a vocal on the way in, might do 20 dB of gain reduction. Oh no, breaking the rules. I have noticed on some compressors, the harder you hit them, the more it actually saturates and colors the sound, so just something I've kind of picked up through using specific ones. For the last handful of years, I've grown to like a specific compressor very much. It's my primary vocal compressor. It doesn't matter if I'm recording a female or a male vocalist. I use it whenever I'm trying to get like an aggressive in-your-face vocal, and that is the UREI 1176. There'll be a photo of it right here. I could go into great detail about what I enjoy specifically about using an 1176 style compressor on vocals, but if you've ever used one, I think it's fairly evident, and it's honestly a pretty common practice. If I'm recording vocals and I'm recording them here, I will gladly use the UREI 1176, the hardware unit that's here at Pebble Studios, on the way in, and if I am not doing that, or I'm in post, I will use an emulation of an 1176. Now, if you are familiar with the plugin world, you know that there are several companies that create an emulation of this physical hardware. This compressor's been around since the start of, I don't know, before I was born. There are countless emulations of this unit, and I have a couple of them, so I thought I would do a comparison between the analog hardware versus the plug-in digital emulation. I've never done this before, so I'm hearing the results for the first time, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens. I have yet to do it at this point in the video. I am going to go ahead, I'm going to grab a vocal that is uncompressed, a raw vocal, and I am going to run it through the hardware 1176. I'm going to run it through a CLA 76 made by Waves, the UAD 1176 LN Legacy made by UAD, and the Slate VMR FG-116. I'm going to run it through those, I'm going to commit them, and then I'm going to play them back to you and tell you a little bit about what I'm hearing and all that fun stuff. The next time you see my face, I will have already done the experiment, and then I will tell you what I think about it. And that's what we're going to do. Cool. All right, so we're rolling. As you can see, we are in Pro Tools, and so I'm gonna stop playing this. Let's look at the tracks real quick. We have original, we have CLA 76, so that's the Wave CLA 76. We have the UAD 1176 Legacy. We have the Slate FG 116, and then we have the UREI Real Deal Hardware 1176. So I'll post a picture of all the settings of where the compressors were. What I was aiming for was to have the same attack and release on each, and then have the best that I could do in terms of getting the same amount of gain reduction, and then trying to match the output appropriately. You'll notice in the original, it's fairly dynamic. You can see here that we got some loud spots, we got some quiet spots, and then obviously on the compressed ones, they are compressed, so the dynamic range is less. So without further ado, I'm going to play through the tracks in succession. We're going to just listen to them. I'll give you my quick thoughts on what I think. Also, I will include a Dropbox download link to all 5 of these files, so you can reference them on your own. I recommend to download them from Dropbox because even if you stream them off Dropbox, it manipulates the quality a little bit. And if you're listening straight off YouTube here, it also manipulates the quality a little bit. But without further ado, let's listen to the track. So we are going to start with the original. Again, uncompressed on the way in.
With an open heart and mind, stronger than fire and stone, yeah. We've gotta build a greater something and build it before we're gone. I tell you now, we'll be alright.
Shout out to Brian Stevenson for being so attractive and singing like an absolute man. All right, so now we have the Wave CLA 76.
With an open heart and mind, stronger than fire and stone, yeah. We've gotta build a greater something and build it before we're gone. I tell you now, we'll be alright.
Very cool. So we're definitely hearing some compression there. Yep. The UAD 1176.
With an open heart and mind, stronger than fire and stone, yeah. We've gotta build a greater something and build it before we're gone. I tell you now, we'll be alright. With an open...
Pretty cool. Pretty similar. Yeah. And let's hear the Slate FG 1176.
With an open heart and mind, stronger than fire and stone, yeah. We've gotta build a greater something and build it before we're gone. I tell you now, we'll be alright.
All right, I'm definitely hearing a difference on that one there. It feels a little less full, but I will talk about that after. And here we go. This is the Hardware 1176 UREI unit that's at Pebble Studios there. So let's play through this one.
With an open heart and mind, stronger than fire and stone, yeah. We've gotta build a greater something and build it before we're gone. I tell you now, we'll be alright.
So the CLA 76 sounds... yeah, sounds like what I imagined it would. The UAD sounds very similar. I'd have to listen back to them to really, to choose a favorite between them, but to me they sounded pretty close. The FG 116 definitely sounded like my least favorite. Now, I don't want to crap on the plugin because it could be some of the parameters not being the exact same, but it definitely to me was losing a little bit of like the body. And then the UREI sounded again, pretty similar across the board to the other ones. I don't know if it's just my ears or my perception of it, but it sounded like it's just a little bit more saturated overall, like a little bit more harmonic content in it. Again, I don't know if I'm just, if that's all in my head just because I know it's a hardware unit. Anyways, these are the 5 files. I'm curious to know your opinion. So I'm going to jump back to myself in the past. Anyways, my camera's going to die, but download them. Let me know what you think. And yeah. Whoa. Boom! We're back here at Pebble Studios. I'm wearing the same clothes. I'm totally not filming this when I film the intro part of the video. And I've totally heard the difference between the experiment and dude, it's so crazy. You should definitely go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 10 million subscribers. We're going slow and steady, but I'm the tortoise and the hare. If the first thing you do when you wake up is grab your cell phone and look at your notifications, please drop a like on the video. If you have any opinions, do what everyone does and make sure to post them on the internet, preferably in the comment section below. It can be about anything. I really do not care. We're just trying to trick this Facebook, or whoa, we're on YouTube. We're just trying to trick this YouTube algorithm into getting more viewers on the videos so I can grow my empire and just, take over. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there's a link at the top of the description to join a Facebook audio community. Join it, start a conversation, you might learn something, It's the end of the video, dude. What are you still doing here? Bye.